Hi, I'm Anne-Marie Zanzal, coach, ordained minister, grandma, mama of four, and a queer woman married to my lovely, gorgeous wife after I came out later in life. This is Coming Out and Beyond LGBTQIA Plus Stories, a podcast for everyone exploring identity, queerness, and what it means to live more truthfully, no matter our age or stage. We share stories of coming out, starting over, resiliency, how to navigate relationships, grief, joy, and building lives that actually fit us as human beings. No labels required, just curiosity, courage, and a little faith in this journey. Welcome. Let's dive in. Hey, it's Anne-Marie here. Okay, listen. Gonna give you some straight talk. Pun fully intended. If you've been Googling Am I Gay more than you've been Googling holiday presents, I have something for you. It's called the 3-Day Clarity Experience, and no, I won't make you climb a mountain or journal yourself into oblivion. For 3 days, we gently untangle the is this real thoughts, the why now spirals, and oh no, my life makes sense now moment. You'll laugh, you might cry, and you'll definitely stop feeling like you're the only one whose gaydar pointed inward at midlife. If you're craving clarity with compassion and a sprinkle of queer humor, come join me. It's time to finally get some answers and to maybe have a little fun. The link is in the show notes or at annemariezanzal.com workshops. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Coming Out and Beyond. This is Anne-Marie Zanzal and the lovely...
Hello, Barbara Rowlandson here at your pleasure.
Barb, can you believe it is the end of 2025 already?
It has zipped by. What a year it's been.
Oh my goodness, it has been such a very, very fast year. It has been a year of change for both of us, and I just cannot believe we are at the end of it already.
I know. Here we go, 2026. What are you most looking forward to in 2026?
Well, as you know, I became a grandma last year. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to watching my grandchild grow.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to making some decisions in my personal life about where we're going to live.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited about my business. You know, I have been doing this work now it'll be 8 years in 2026. And I know it's pretty crazy, huh? And, I have really done a lot of soul searching this year, and I'm sort of changing the way I do things. And I'm excited about that. We'll talk a little bit about that more in the show. But there's some really great changes that I think are really, really beneficial to our community. So we'll talk a little bit about that. How about you, Barb? What are you looking forward in 2026?
Well, number one thing is I am looking forward to convocation.
Yes, I bet. You're done with school. Yay!
I'm so looking forward to the convocation. Since the university's out in New Brunswick, I'll have to fly out there. I haven't been to the east coast of Canada in a really long time, and it's a really beautiful place to be. Going to eat a whole lobster by myself.
Well, I go. For somebody coming with you?
Well, I'm pretty sure my sister's going to come and that Angie's going to come, my girlfriend. Shout out to Angie. Hi, honey. And I also think that if my kids can come, I would really love for them to be there. Although I'm kind of wondering, my youngest daughter and I are graduating at the same time. So I'm hoping our convocations don't clash.
I hope so too. That would not be fun. I hope
I will say, well, first of all, I will skip mine to go to hers. That's way more important. And also, I think it's been like one of the coolest things ever that she and I have both been in university together at the same time. So I'm really proud of her. I'm so proud of her moving on, and she's working so hard, and I'm proud of both my kids, but it's just been really cool to be students together and like talk student talk and all that sort of thing. I don't miss it.
Actually, my youngest child just finished college in December, and all 4 of them are done with college now. So I know a couple of them have master's degrees already, but all 4 of them are done with college.
Almost done college? Oh my gosh!
I know. What? I know didn't he just start?
We just felt like I've been with you since like he started school. I remember when he started school.
Yeah, he's done.
Wow. Wow. Even. Oh my gosh.
This episode is put your feet up, sit by a nice warm fire, because this is really our reflection for the year about the podcast. We do this. This is the third time we've done this.
Yeah.
And so every year, at the end of every year, we do what our favorite episodes are,
Mhm.
because Barb and I are very excited about the work that we do. And we have some wonderful podcast episodes. And we also know that it's not like you're sitting there with bated breath waiting for a podcast episode to come out. So we want to give you some really good ideas about some of the podcasts that we've had this year. So,
Mhm.
Barb, you can go first.
Actually, can we toot our own horns for a minute? Because I did make a list of my favorite episodes from the year. And two of them, or technically three, because one of them's a part one and part two, are ones that we did
Ah,
together.
yeah. Have fun with our podcasts.
Yeah. I really feel like podcast episode number 30, What No One Will Tell You About Divorce, But We Will.
Mm,
And I think that is a really important one for our listeners who are going through a divorce journey.
I
Uh,
agree.
this is one where I felt like we did the big sister, put our arms around you, tuck you in close, and say, okay, sis, we got you. Here's from our lived experience what you really need to know. And I know for our listeners, this is a big reason why you've probably a big catalyst for how you found us, right? Like
Mhm.
you're going through it, you're not sure where to look, and then y'all find us, right? So I love that episode. And then the
Yeah,
other
and that
two,
was the one on July 25th, and
yeah.
so if you wanna look that one up, you can find that, and it's what no one tells you about divorce, but we will.
But we will, and we did, and we did, and,
And we did.
yeah, yeah, so that felt good, and the other, part 1 and 2 was, 4 episodes 41 and 42, and that was the episodes on healing grief of
Mhm.
coming out later in life, and of course, that is I mean, the grief piece, that's your bailiwick, and it's the whole reason you started doing the work that you do, right?
Mhm.
Mhm,
Absolutely.
mhm,
You know, I agree. A lot of our podcasts this year have been, the ones that we've done together.
yeah,
Barb and I have such practical podcasts this year, like How Do You Explore Your Sexuality, which was the one that just came out 2 weeks ago in December. We liked it so much, we released it twice this year. We also talk a lot about, how do you tell your kids? Do I fit in? Am I queer enough? So I'm going to say that all the episodes where we dove into particular topics around the later in life experience,
mhm,
if you have not listened to them, just go through and read them all. There are
mhm,
so many that just really hit on particular aspect of this, like talking to your kids, talking to your spouse, how a lot of times people in queer space, like people who are new to the queer community, often wonder if they're queer enough to fit into queer spaces. And of course you are. But we want you to know that it's normal not to
mhm.
feel like you fit in.
Yes, exactly,
Right.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
so love all of those for sure. How about
And
you?
then I really love some of our guests this year. Kennedy Ann Scott. Kennedy
Uh,
Ann,
uh,
drag queen here in
yeah.
Nashville. She published a book, which I can't remember the name of at this moment, but it's a book about drag queens. 4 or 5 drag queens give their individual essays. And I really loved spending time with Kennedy. I've known her locally from
Yeah.
Nashville. She's one of those drag queens that like MCs shows and does all
Mhm,
kind of stuff. And also she was teacher of the year in Nashville a couple of years ago. So she's a very multi-talented drag queen and teacher. And I was just blown away by their
mhm.
story. I
Yeah,
find that when I interview gay males on our podcast, I am always blown away by how much bullying they've had to endure in their
yeah.
lives. Almost every single man I've
Oh
ever
my god.
interviewed on this show has had to deal with real substantial bullying.
And it's interesting you bring that up because on my list as well is episode number 22 with Mike Machero.
Mhm.
And as somebody who's not a person of faith but has humanist principles, I find issues around faith to be really super interesting.
Right.
And here is somebody who, grew up in a really conservative faith tradition, and listening to those experiences, it's almost astonishing the
Well,
amount
I think for somebody like you who really didn't grow up in a religious tradition, like, you must be blown away by it all the
I'm
time.
blown away by it. It helps me to gain a deeper understanding of what that experience is, to listen to the story, and that cannot be an easy story to tell
Mhm.
at all, right? It's very, very it's a painful things that these folks go through and Mike went through. Then on the other side of it, yes, it's like, wow, okay, the depth of like how painful that is and how incredibly resilient this person is to have found themselves and become aligned with who they truly are in the face of adversity. That to me demonstrates like the best of humanity of coming through that adversity.
I find Mike to be extraordinarily brave
Yeah.
because when you come out of a culture, he came out of a fundamentalist conservative culture, and where he was, I guess, I didn't know him previously to this, but he was a little bit of a rock star in that culture.
Mm,
People knew him, people went to see him and stuff like that.
yeah.
And what I find, which is very difficult for folks, is people turn on them and
Yeah.
they say, I mean, like the comments that they get under their, if they post about this on social media and stuff are very vitriolic. And so,
Mhm.
I feel like now I'm a more seasoned gay. I mean, it's been almost 10 years I've been out. I'll be 10 years next year, 2020, this year, 2026.
Wow.
But I find that if you're a new gay, like you're a baby gay, we call ourselves baby gays when we're new. That's really really painful. Like if somebody
Mhm.
came on after me today with vitrolic religious stuff, it would go in your one ear and out the other.
Mhm.
But when you're a brand new gay and you're just figuring this out,
Yeah.
that is hard to deal
Mm.
with. And I
Mhm.
love to see people who have such resiliency in the face of all that.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Another one who, since we're speaking about the fellas, another
Mhm.
part 2, episodes 24 and 25 is Brian Selznick. And wow, what a interesting person, and also had some adversity coming out, and the stuff about his dad, and having to hide this like piece of himself but be out at the same time, and then to hear his incredible story of like following his creative vision and
Right.
becoming a best-selling author. And it's wonderful to see how sharing his experience through the creativity of his literature and making space for young queer people,
Mhm.
provide
Mhm.
modeling for young queer people is really beautiful.
Well, and I also think that one thing that Brian and I talked about is that his queer identity shows through those books
Yeah.
all the way. And I think a lot of it was him unconsciously processing his relationship with his father and how his
Mhm.
father really rejected him. He rejected the version of Brian that he didn't
Yeah.
want to see. And really, it was his family that did an intervention with his father and said, "Hey, you got to stop doing this. This is not good, cool." And he
Yeah.
did come around, but I don't think they had much time to heal before he passed, which
Mhm.
was really, really unfortunate, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm. Yeah, it was beautiful. Really well worth the listen. I
Right.
have one more that I identified on my list, and
Mhm.
oh my gosh, she's just our little firefly, Valerie Handfling, episode 35. When she speaks, I listen. She is such a compelling person to listen to, and her work is so interesting and
Mhm.
just speaks exactly to our population, right?
I agree. And, for me, I'm starting, we have had a lot of guys on this show.
This
This
year, yeah.
year, I didn't realize it so much. I really do. I love our shows that we do. I love the shows where we talk about the later in life stuff, but I also like to interview people.
Mhm,
And so we've had several people that I have really enjoyed interviewing. And one of them was Dakari Lariat, who is
mhm,
running for Senate in Alabama. Again, had to have some really bad shit happen to him,
Yeah.
but it lit a fire under his belly
Mhm.
to run for Senate in the state of Alabama. He had a very bad experience in profiling experience in
That's right.
Michigan, and which sort of blew him away. I mean, he was a very just never had that type of experience before. He's an African American gentleman, a very successful businessman. And so, because of all that, he was like, I'm going to try to change things. So, I'm
Mhm.
really curious and excited to see where Dakari goes, and I wonder if,
Yeah.
will he win the, a nomination to run? I mean, he's a Democrat, obviously, for Alabama, but
Mhm.
it'll be really interesting to see if he gets the actual nomination to run against the Republican candidate, whoever that might be. And then
Mhm.
I also really, really enjoyed talking to the founder of Uncloseted Media. So Uncloseted Media is doing really, really what was the word I want to use? Journalism, serious journalism
Yeah.
around LGBTQ issues. And I found that to be so interesting and so exciting to hear that they're finally going to, there's somebody who is focusing on our issues. And the editor in chief is Spencer McNaughton. And so having Spencer on the show was really wonderful. And I love to support, he's new. I mean, they've only been doing
Mhm.
this a year. So it's nice to support other entrepreneurs. I mean, he is a nonprofit, of course, but, supporting other people that want to do something for our community and show up for each other. So it was really nice to
Totally.
talk to Spencer and to hear the work that he and his team are doing in Uncloseted Media.
Really look forward to their updates, which I subscribe on
Instagram, I subscribe.
Substack, I think it is. Yeah, so I don't understand Substack yet.
I'm on Substack, but I agree with you, Barb. I'm like, I'm
Oh,
really struggling to understand this.
people keep following me. I'm like, why are you following me? I'm not doing anything. I do know that I get lots of emails from Substacks, and Uncloseted Media is one of them, and they are one that I actually do check up on and read and follow because of the important work that they're doing. There really isn't anybody else that I can think of who is doing journalism from this queer lens, and that is so important for all of us.
Mhm. It is. And unfortunately in the United States these days there's a lot of bad news. And so a lot of times when I see their posts, it's not good news. But what I do like about Uncloseted Media is they keep me informed of what is going on for my queer community.
Yes.
And that's what is really, really helpful. Sometimes scary,
Mhm,
but know what's going on, which is good.
mhm, mhm. Yep.
So we have a new year coming up.
I
We
know.
are at the end of this year and we are going into 2026 full bore. So let's talk about some of the things that's headed our way for Anne-Marie Zanzal Coaching and for Barb Rowlandson. Barb has been a part of my community for a long time. And she has worked with me as a coach. And for a long time, we did something called Lotus Community Coaching. This year, we ended up winding it up because I am starting something new. And so, what I really wanted to do is to continue the community coaching, which really, really works. I mean, it is without a doubt works. But I had found over the years there were some problems with the community coaching, especially the way I ran it. And one of the things was having people start at different times. And that was really hard because it's, first of all, if you're somebody who's intimidated by groups, to go into a group that is already established and find your fitting, it can
Mhm.
really bring up some old feelings.
Sure.
Because I'm not a therapist, I am a coach. But in the therapist world, when people are joining a group and they're coming in late, and this is about group dynamics, a lot of times they feel like they have to catch up. Or people are so, it's like if you are the youngest child in your family, you will understand what it's like entering a group when everybody's already been there.
Right.
So, one of the things that I have changed for this year is that I'm going to have three cohorts. It's called This Authentic Life. And what I love about it is that we have taken our organization that we have, the Lotus Group Coaching, and brought it to another level. So, it is now a course. So, This Authentic Life is a course. I've divided it into two different ways you can access it. One is if you're like, I'm just going to self study, I can't do a community right now. I just need to like take the course and figure out what's going on with myself before I talk to anybody about it. Then we have a self study option. And then I also have this authentic life community coaching. And that starts January 19th. It is where the cohort all starts together. We all start in one place. We all end together in one place. So the footing that everybody is on in the beginning is exactly the same, which is really important in group work and to keep your group stable as well. So I'm really excited about it. And so I'm going to offer three different cohorts this year. One is in January. I believe the second one is in May. And the third one starts in September or October. I do have the dates, but they're not in my head yet. But I'm really excited about it.
And I think your reasoning behind making this change, it makes a lot of sense, right? And also to have like a beginning, middle, and an end to the process. And I presume, like people go through the course and they want some deeper support, then they can find that too, right?
Absolutely. If you're thinking maybe this sounds a little bit interesting, maybe I'll join this. I really highly encourage you to join our 3-day clarity workshop. That is coming up the first week of January, January 6th, 7th, and 8th at 7:30 in the evening Central Time. And that is a workshop that has been designed to help you find clarity. And, on this experience, there's no formula
Mhm.
because this is your own experience and everybody does it differently. Barb and I are merely the guides because we have been down this path and we do this for a living all the time and think about this all the time. We are your guides. But really, the journey is yours. You're the hero of your own journey. And so, Barb and I are there to accompany you. We put guardrails up so you don't fall off the edge of the
Right.
highway, but really the journey is yours, is really a course for someone who is a later in life LGBTQIA plus person, a woman. Barb and I work with trans, non-binary people comfortable in female spaces and cis women as well. And they're somewhere between, I think I'm not straight and okay, I'm out. Now what?
Mhm.
Our folks that come to our clarity workshops may be still married to a man. They may be newly separated or divorced. They may be co-parenting, or maybe navigating the end of a catalyst breakup. On the outside, like a lot of us, they're holding jobs, kids, parents, never to do ending list. But on the inside, they're untangling compulsory heterosexuality, grief, shame, and this longing to really live as honestly as they can. Most of the people that attend our workshops have some kind of awakening around our sexuality, but they don't have a roadmap yet
Right.
or a community or practical support to move through the missing middle into a more stable and authentic next chapter. And that is what our intention with this clarity course is. So if you want to find out more about that, the link is below this video if you're on YouTube, or in our show notes if you're listening in the podcast. And of course, you can always go to my website, annemariezanzal.com/courses or /workshops, and find everything that I offer there. One of my goals beyond being a businesswoman offering support for folks is to stop pretending that being has no plan. What I have found is that, and I'm going to try to say this as succinctly as possible, the history of people coming out has always been other queers helping other people along. There has not been anything that is written down like, we need to talk about this, we need to talk about that. Yes, it is GLAD or HRC, our human rights campaign. They'll give you something like that about coming out. But a lot of the stuff, especially in the big nonprofits or charity organizations, are really geared to people that are younger.
Totally.
It's geared to people 25 and under. Is geared to people that are 25 and older.
Right.
Because the reality is that more people come out later in life than we ever thought there was.
Mhm.
But what I have learned over the last 10 years is that a lot of people come out older, over 25. That's our cutoff for later in life.
Mhm.
Later in life is self-defined. And I feel like we've got to stop pretending this isn't real, that this isn't serious, and it needs real consideration about how people come out and
Mhm.
think about their sexuality. Because if you happen to come out and you meet somebody that is wonderful and really, really secure in their queerness, you'll be okay. But a
Mhm.
lot of times people come out and they can meet people that haven't done the work. And what I have found in our community, the longer I've been in it, just because someone's been out a long time doesn't mean they understand anything about being gay
Right.
or understand
Preach
anything about internalized homophobia.
that
They're
one.
living their lives lesser than
Mhm.
because a lot of times as a young person they haven't done the work. And of course they haven't done the work because they're
Mhm.
young.
Well, sure, sure. They're trapped in, a level of development
Mhm,
that maybe because of trauma or because of what was modeled for them, they're sort of trapped at a younger age where they haven't really learned how to deal with some of these big things that they're experiencing, including especially the internalized homophobia, right? How many adults, whether they came out later in life or not, I come across with that internalized shame that
mhm,
comes with the homophobia
mhm.
and just can't quite shake it. So I really hear you in that. And the other thing I'm hearing is like, you're completely right. A lot of these larger sort of not-for-profit orgs really are skewed towards helping younger people because that's where they get the funding for. The funding goes for young people, children, adolescents, young adults, or seniors who are over 65. These are the kinds of programs that get government funding, right? So for those of us who are somewhere in the middle, we don't fall into those categories, but we're still having these experiences. Where do we turn? Things aren't set up for us, and it's almost like the underlying message is, "You should have this figured out by now."
Right. And also to say that folks that run those organizations often are the ones who have figured it out early in life.
Right.
And I agree with Barb. That's where the money they go where the money goes. And the money goes to youth programs and senior programs.
Mhm.
And so I like that is one of my missions this year is one, to stop pretending like I'm so done with that this is a choice that people choose this and they shouldn't get any kind of special recognition because my marriage is under fire here in this country. But I'm so done with that. I'm so done with that. You have no idea how done I am with it. So I want to say, hey, let's move beyond this conversation about whether it's a choice or not because it's not a fucking choice because I lived my life, half
Mhm.
my life as
Mhm.
more than half my life as in the straight world. And believe me, this will haunt you until you die if you don't take care of your queerness.
Yeah.
And so it's not a choice. So I'm so done with that discussion. Let's start getting real resources for people so that
Mhm.
everybody can figure this out when they need to, if they need to. Because I always think to myself, what would our world be like if we were all lived as authentically as we were created to be?
Mhm. Mhm.
It would be a heck of a lot happier world. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying everybody's gay because that's not true. What I'm talking about is if people could just be who they are and live as authentically as they want to be. So i.e., for example, a guy that's trapped being an accountant but he longs to be an artist. And, but
Mhm.
he's trapped because he's got married and he's got kids and he's got to pay for college. I am talking about stuff like that as well.
Mhm.
So what would the world be like if we could all just be authentic? Because I think it would be a much happier and safer place for everyone.
I agree. Yeah, there'd be a lot fewer people sitting across from me in the therapist chair, right? Like if we were able to just be ourselves and then also like acknowledging the systems that we all live within, right? Our own little families that we create for ourselves when we're living our heteronormative life, that's a system. And we're responsible for that. But there's some greater systems out there that cannot be changed. And so it's like, how do I balance like the acceptance of this is the world that we live in to what change can I actually foster for myself? What is within my own control? And this is a big part of the work that we have done for
Hmm.
the past. Well, I've been with you for I think we're
4
going into year
years?
4 now.
Yeah.
And this is a big part of the work that we do with women is to say, okay, here's what you can change, and here are
Here's
the
what change.
and yeah, here are the decisions you can make, and whatever decision you make, it's fine so long as you make it, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. That's like one of the things that, like, with the work that Barb and I are do, is that we are never going to ever say that you're a lesbian and you have to become one, or that you're bisexual and you have to be that. No, no, no. That's not the work we do.
we won't
We
even tell you to leave your marriage to your husband.
No, we absolutely won't. And actually I was with somebody brand new the other day,
Yeah.
and she's still figuring it all out. Actually, she was sort of cool, Barb, because she had a catalyst, but it was like, when somebody has a crush on somebody and she told the woman she had a crush, and the woman said, thank you so much, but I'm straight. But she was actually like, I'm really sad, but now what? Like
Yeah.
it was nothing ever happened between the two of them. But the thing is she was like, okay, now what? And so we talked about, okay, you could open your marriage. You could do this, you could do that, you can do this. We don't, Barb and I, in our work that we do, our role is to guide you, and your job is to make decisions that are best for you. And
Mhm.
we have no outcome for you.
No, the only outcome is the one that you decide, and if you're setting a
Right.
goal as coaches, object is to get you to your goal,
Mm-hmm.
not our goal for you, because we don't have
Mm-hmm.
one.
Mm-hmm.
It's your goal.
Right. Absolutely. And with that, Barb has been doing some wonderful work with people who want to date.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's a big question mark in people's minds of like, okay, so I'm gay. Now what the heck do I do? And how do
Mm-hmm.
I meet people? Or why am I not meeting people? Because I don't just work with people who are newly out either, right? Like I work
Mm-hmm.
with long out lesbians who are like, how come I can't meet anybody?
Like, what's going on here? I've been trying and I really want to meet somebody, and it's just not working for me.
Right, exactly. And almost always the work becomes about something a little bit deeper. It's like an inner block that we have about meeting people. Sometimes it's not being fully out and not really being comfortable enough to step out to meet people. Sometimes it's a logistic stuff and all of that stuff, like how we actually meet people and make connections. I mean, that for me feels like the easy part because I can give you a laundry list of things to do. Like, here are the apps you should join, here are the activities you should try. But when it comes down to it, most of the folks who I work with have already tried all of these things and it's still not working. So it's usually not about the nuts and bolts of dating. It's usually about something that goes a little bit deeper. And that's well worth looking at, especially if connection and having that like intimacy with somebody who's really special is something that you want for yourself.
When you say something deeper, can you give us some examples of what you mean?
Sure, sure. I think we all kind of walk around with pre-baked assumptions about the world and about who we are. And those assumptions aren't necessarily always based in truth or fact. So, for example, I can never meet anybody, nobody's ever interested in me, and we never get past the first conversation, or they always ghost me. Well, okay, tell me more about what happened in that interaction. What were your moves in this? Were you unconsciously making some away moves or doing things that can repel people from you? And you're not aware of what's happening. Is your internalized homophobia getting in the way? That's a big one for people.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear, well, I'm not going to fully come out unless I have a partner because then why would I? That is a really
That's
common one that I hear.
Well, that is a really internalized homophobia one, right?
Big
So
time.
we'll explain why. We'll explain why. So I'm a big believer that we should talk about our queerness to people we love before we have a partner.
Yes.
Sometimes a partner or girlfriend shows up at the exact same time. Sometimes they don't. And so Barb and I often hear from people, why should I tell anybody I don't have a partner?
Mhm.
Why is that internalized homophobia, Barb?
Because it reduces us to our identity just to the person that we're having sex with.
Absolutely.
And being queer is more than about just who we're having sex with. Being
Right.
queer is an entire identity and it is a culture of people that we belong to. Yeah.
And Barb's 1000% right. And also too, when people are new to coming out, they will often say stuff like, am I going to blow my life up just for sex? And what people don't realize is that we come from a compulsory heterosexual society that reduces LGBTQ people to who they have sex with.
Mhm.
So even though we may be part of that community, we have been conditioned to believe that being gay is just about sex. But as Barbara said, it is not. It is the lens in which we look at the world, and it's about who meets us physically, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually. The sex part of being gay is one very, very small part of that puzzle.
Mhm.
And so, no, you're not blowing your life up for sex.
No, you're changing your life. We lose a little less extreme language. You're changing your life so that you can be fully who you are without apology,
Mm-hmm.
without exception.
Mm-hmm.
How great does it feel? I'm a big, by the way, this big, big, big fan of the casual coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about my life at large with the world no differently than I used to talk about it than when I had a husband.
So I guess I do that too.
So, like, I will just throw in even like I don't just like for every single person I talk to a lot of people obviously and doing the work that I do and I don't, okay, before we get started, I just need you to know something about me.
Oh God, no.
I'm a lesbian. Like, no, it's like you went out you're going out on Thursday night. Oh, I'm going out with my girlfriend too. Yeah, we're going to go see the show or, yeah, I've got to pick something up at the store. My girlfriend needs this before I get home or like that is how I operate because I don't
Yeah, that's how
feel.
I always, yeah. Every time I say my wife, I come out.
Yeah, well, exactly. And
Every time you say my girlfriend, you come out.
it's a vestige of privilege that I take with me from my straight life. It's
Mm-hmm.
that I absolutely refuse to filter it or to make it bigger than what it is. It's just a
Absolutely.
piece of me. So
Yeah.
if I don't make it a big deal, they won't make it a big deal. And most of the time, it's not. It's not a
And
big deal.
And also too, if it is a big deal to someone, they filter themselves out of your life, and that is absolutely 100% fine because you will
Fantastic.
be better off without a homophobe in your life.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it also, yeah, points you away. I can remember, was it last summer? I was wearing a queer t-shirt, like a rainbow flag or something. And the person who was taking my money at the gas station, and if looks could kill, like dirty, dirty, dirty looks. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll go buy my gas down the street. Like it's not
Yeah,
a
I'm
big deal. Like,
not gonna buy my gas here anymore.
yeah, that's fine.
Well, what we have, so Barb will be offering dating coaching for people over the next year in Anne-Marie Zanzal coaching. So if you're somebody who is like, darn, I could really use some help with this coaching, Barb's your girl. She really is. It's more than finding the apps. It's more
Yeah.
than, joining community choirs and all that's really important to build community. But sometimes if you're not connecting with people in the dating world, there's definitely something that you should look at.
Mhm.
And so Barb helps people find it. And as she said, she works with people that are, yes, just coming out later in life, women who have never dated women before, but she also works with longtime out people that are just like, why isn't this working for me?
Mhm.
And Barb loves that one, the working with the people that have been out for a while too.
Because really, ultimately, for everybody, maybe I should have said this earlier when I was talking about it, but like folks, when they have a block, why do we put up a block? It's to protect ourselves from something. We're afraid of
Mhm.
something. So let's look at what that block, and it doesn't matter if you're newly out, you could be long out and struggling. And I haven't dated anybody for 15 years. And how come I'm not connecting with anybody? Okay, well, let's go find the block
Yeah.
and then we can work on that.
Yes. And so if you're interested in working with Barb as a coach, you can reach out to her at annemariezanzal.com and Barb will be very happy to talk to you about the services that she provides. But what I want to say is if you're somebody that is longing for a dating connection and you just want to have that special someone in your life and you have tried various things, I really would really encourage you to give yourself a gift to yourself this
Mhm.
Christmas or this
Mhm.
Hanukkah or this holiday season of, you know what? I'm going to spend not a lot of money, honestly. I'm
Mhm.
going to spend some money so that I can find what I want because I deserve this.
Mm-hmm.
And m- a lot of the times it's learning how to navigate that stuff, but also realizing that sometimes we may unconsciously push people away
Mm-hmm.
or just think we're not worthy enough to be able
Mm-hmm.
to date somebody.
Yep.
And Barb and I laughed because she had a potential client that reached out to her about dating. And Barb was like, well, yeah, and I do some work around blocks. And she goes, I don't want to do any. I don't want to look at myself at all. Don't want to look at myself at all. And Barb's like, okay.
Okay, well, it's nice to meet you. Yeah, yeah, I guess, it's anytime we can do something that gets like a little bit of guidance to improve our mental health, to just improve our lives in general. It's time
Mhm.
and money well spent. We can only help ourselves to a certain point. We can read every
Correct.
self-help book out there, but it can be really hard to get over the hump of whatever is holding us back without a little professional direction. And I joke about it and say, well, would you cut your own hair? No, you go to a hairstylist. Would you do your own dental work? No, you go to a dentist. If you are
I know.
having a challenge with something, that's a little bit of professional help. Doesn't have to be forever. It can be short term.
It
You
can be
know,
very short term. And that's the thing is that so Barb and I are doing some things that are really revolutionary. There have been dating coaches before, of course, but I feel like what we're saying is that there are definite patterns to all these things that Barb and I can see because one, we've walked this path. And two, we've been trained to be guides on this. We both come from professional backgrounds. We both have master's degrees. And our professional background supports our ability to guide people.
yes.
That's what it does. And so if you are really struggling in this journey, keep listening to this podcast, like it, download it, give us a nice review if you enjoy it, because it's really helpful for us so that other people can find us. And if you're really struggling wherever you are on this journey, reach out because we can provide the support and the guidance that you need to make your life more authentic, ultimately more happier.
You do have the power to change. You
You
do.
do.
You absolutely do. And it's okay to get a little help to do that.
So thank you, Barb Rowlandson. Happy New Year, everybody. We are so excited for 2026. We can't wait to share all the good stuff coming up that we're going to offer. I am so excited for my friend Barb where she goes to her official graduation. And I'm really excited. So welcome to 2026, y'all. Thank you for being with us the last year or maybe the last couple years. We are so excited to see where all of this leads to for us, but also for you as well.
Well, that's such a nice sentiment. Thank you, Anne-Marie. And I'm just so grateful for you all who
Mhm.
keep tuning in and for finding us and sticking with us and just really following along our journey of helping others. So we appreciate all of our listeners to the podcast.
So if you want to join our Clarity Experience, that's coming January 6th through the 8th, you can find the link below, or you can go to annemariezanzal.com and look and click on workshops and it'll be right there. So thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
You've been listening to Coming Out and Beyond, LGBTQIA+ Stories with Anne-Marie Zanzal. New episodes of the Coming Out and Beyond podcast drop every other Friday. You can tune in at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and at annemariezanzal.com. Be sure to hit subscribe when tuning in so you never miss an episode. And for more resources, articles, videos, and a free downloadable guide for coming out later in life, visit annemariezanzal.com.